Hello and welcome to another episode of Earth911's Sustainability in Your Ear. I'm Mitch Ratcliffe, your host today, and we have another innovator interview with Daniel Chabert, who is the founder and CEO of Rockay. Rockay makes socks, and they make socks out of recovered ocean plastics and recovered landfill plastics. So welcome, Daniel, to the show. How are you today?
Thank you very much. I'm good.
Good. Well, now tell us, what was your motivation in starting the company? Not everybody starts a sock company using recovered plastic. What was the driving force here?
I think it was a combination of things. To be fair, when I first started, it was a passion for running and wanting to make my own products in a way that where I would be happy with the product and trying to raise the bar even more. But it was also due to my travels around the world, going many different places, especially Asia, and just experiencing firsthand all the pollution around me in the ocean and everywhere I go, really. So, and then, a combination of reading and just studying all these different things, I wanted to do much more than just creating a really good product. I wanted to make something that could actually help our planet as well.
So sustainability obviously drives your business. Let's talk about how the material gets from the ocean or the landfill into the Rockay socks. You're working with a couple of different providers, but Polygiene, which is a Danish textiles company, is your main partner in capturing this stuff. How does it get from where you find it to the yarn that you use to make the socks?
So Polygiene is actually just a coating we use on our products, which prevents them from smelling at all, which is a really important thing. We can talk about that later. But when your socks doesn't smell, then you can wash them way less, meaning that your harm on the planet will be much lower. You will basically use less detergent, less water, and so on. So this is really a needed change in the textile industry, in which we are definitely trying to spearhead here. But in terms of the actual yarn that goes into the socks, we use several different companies, but the biggest one to mention is a company called Equinil. It's an Italian-based company. Basically, they have a really large network of suppliers that go out there and find all this plastic and waste fishing nets primarily from the ocean. So we're partnering with a big organization like Equinil to find the waste that we're using. And it was really hard. We actually went out to maybe 3 or 4 different companies. But for us, it was so important to have that transparency and being able to see that it's actually made from waste and not just something like greenwashing or anything like that. So for us, it was really important. And that's why we went with Equinil.
So you take the plastics, you basically break them down into fibers and turn that into yarn. Is that a basic summary of what's going on?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what happens. Basically, you break down all this waste and you turn them into little pellets or little balls. And once you have that material, you can then start to transform that into actual yarn again. The process takes a while, and it's definitely a difficult thing to do. That's why you only have a few companies actually in the entire world that can do this right now. But we went with one of the best ones, we think.
Now, you've called out the fact that your product uses a lot less water for washing, but are there other elements of your supply chain besides the sourcing of the materials that you've focused on creating greater sustainability, like distribution? Are there other, how are you cutting down your impact in every way that you possibly can?
So the main thing is also that we didn't want to take anything. We didn't want to produce any new yarn. Most yarn today in the performance socks is made from petroleum, so it's extremely damaging to our planet. And when you work with synthetic yarns like what we are doing, we wanted to take already existing material from our planet, waste, things that are already out there. And by doing that, compared to virgin yarn that you produce from petroleum, it's about 50% less CO2 that you produce from that. So that's a really good step in the right direction. And I think it's a much needed change in the textile industry to not take more from our planet, but try to reuse what we already have.
Now, the Rockay sock is described as a performance wear, and so it's an athletic sock. What's the primary use? I used to run, don't run as much anymore. I walk, but I never really thought of my socks as an integral part of my performance. How's a sock a performance item?
So there are different things we look at here, but the main thing is definitely how well they protect your feet. You want to have a sock on that you can wear for a long hike or a long run, whatever you want to do, and be sure that you're not going to get any blisters. That's the number one thing. And the second thing from a performance perspective is that you want a light one that wicks all the sweat away from your feet and from the sock. So you want to have a sock with a lot of open mesh, so basically allowing the sweat to basically evaporate and go away from your feet as well. So those are some really key features in a performance sock as well. So
let's talk about the Polygiene element of this and how it resists odor. How does Polygiene prevent the odor from building up?
Basically, what it is that it prevents bacteria from splitting in two. That's basically what happens when something smells bad. It is the bacteria evolving and splitting itself into over and over and over and over. And this process is what causes all this bad odor. And Polygiene goes in there and it prevents the bacteria from splitting, meaning that you will not have any bad odor in your sock at all. And so it's really simple. And the reason we went with Polygiene is that we went out to one of the companies we really like to inspire towards, which is Patagonia. They're really one of the biggest companies when it comes to sustainable movement and trying to do better. And we saw that they were using Polygiene, and we thought that's probably one of the best approval stamps you can get.
Sure,
so we went
that's an endorsement
Polygiene.
You can trust. Yep.
Oh yeah, exactly right. And we did our own research, of course, and we tested it ourselves, and we tested others. But we wanted to make sure we have a solution that is sustainable, safe to use, and something that actually lasts a lifetime. And Polygiene is proud to say that it lasts a lifetime, their coating. So that's why we went with them.
And so how frequently do you need to wash these socks? If you're running every day, is it once every other day, every 3 days, 5?
Well, I gotta admit that I'm probably on the extreme. I'm testing the very limits of our coating. So I've used the shirt over 10 times, 10 different training sessions without using it, just leaving it out to hang and dry. Right. And it doesn't smell at all, which is the amazing thing. I would say that I would probably wash it between every 5th or 10th time in the gym. So basically, or whatever you're doing, so you can wash it 5 to 10 times less than what you would normally wash any piece of garment.
That's an incredible water saving. So factoring that in. What's the other question, I guess, is how durable are they? Are these things going to last? I would assume, coming from plastics, that they are fairly tough.
Yeah. So, when we just talk about socks, it's always really tough to make a sock that will last a lifetime because they do get a lot of wear and tear with all the walking, running, and so on. What we are doing is we are actually trying to engineer our sock and always try to come up with ways to knit it in a way that it will not rip, it will not fall apart, and using, of course, the best fabrics and so on. And that's an ongoing process which we will never be done with. But I'm really proud to say that the new sock that has just come out now with 100% recycled fabrics, it's really a lot more durable than our old one. So as long as we're heading in that direction, then I think we're on the right path.
So do you see Rockay growing into a full spectrum clothing provider, or are you going to stay focused in the footwear space?
For sure, full apparel. We already have several people working on the apparel, and we're pretty far. We already got samples and so on. So you can expect a full apparel lineup from Rockay in the next year.
So you know, this is a lot of progress in the short life of a company. You started selling product in 2018. How large is the business today, if you can say?
So it definitely hasn't been easy to grow that fast, and we're still a skeleton crew of about 8 or 9 people. But I think we're working really well, and the company is quite big today. We're selling across the world, and our main market remains to be the US, but we're really growing a lot in Europe and in other countries like Canada and Australia. So yeah, we're growing pretty fast, and we're pretty excited about it as well.
So can you share with us where people can find and buy the socks, as well as what is it all through mail order or online commerce, or is it also available in stores?
Right now, it's all online. You can find it on rockay.com, where we have all our new products as well. We do plan to work with distributors that can get them into the brick and mortar stores as soon as possible. We just haven't found a distributor that believes in the sustainability of the products and really have the same values as us. So we are looking for that distributor right now, but we haven't found them yet.
Oh, okay. So you will get into those stores when you find the right company that can get them there in a sustainable way.
Yeah, exactly. We want to find somebody who understands the value of sustainability and this change that we need. So when we find that company, we'll look to expand into brick and mortar right away.
Well, thank you, Daniel, for sharing the story of Rockay Socks. We appreciate it.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Well, folks, that was Daniel Chabert, who is the founder and CEO of Rockay Socks, and that is ROCKAY.com, where you can find them and order them today. We'll be back with another innovator interview soon. I'm Mitch Ratcliffe, and this is Earth 911. Take care, everybody.